When we're talking about applications of AI, we want to help facilities, but not to remove humans from this whole process, but to help them to do whatever they're doing more efficiently. If there's something that can help me to process this faster, maybe we don't need to shut down a couple of assets, which is going to impact the whole facility.
This is the Asset Champion Podcast, where we talk with facilities maintenance and asset management leaders about the industry trends, challenges, and technologies impacting your organization. This show is powered by Eptura, the global work tech company providing software solutions for people, workplaces, and assets to enable you to work your world. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Asset Champion Podcast. It's me, your host, Mike P., on location with a new friend of the show. We are just outside of Washington, D.C., and we are both members of the Capital chapter of IFMA. And my guest today is someone who is an up-and-coming rising star in our world of asset management and facility management. And her name is Mahnaz Safi, PhD. So Dr. Mahnaz Safi, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Hi, Mike. Thank you for having me on this podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Mahnaz Safi, and I'm happy to be here today.
We're thrilled to have you. This is really cool. So we do know each other from IFMA, right?
Yes, it's true. It's from the conference, the amazing conference IFMA has every year. I recommend everyone who haven't tried attending to attend. It's a great place to meet people, learn a lot, and what's better than the World Workplace?
So we met in Orlando, right? I think,
yes.
Or just outside of Orlando, Florida. It was the first World Workplace post-pandemic, and we were all coming out of the lockdown experience. It was just a great time to get together in real life with human beings again. And you were getting recognized for your work in the world of the built environment, and your PhD is related to facility management. But tell me more. What did you actually get your doctorate in?
Yes, I got my doctorate from Virginia Tech. The program is called Environmental Design and Planning.
Wait a minute. Go Hokies,
Yeah.
Virginia Tech. You're looking at an alumni here as well from many moons ago before you were there. I'm from a whole family of Hokies. My wife
great.
and I met in Blacksburg. So welcome to the show. I just get excited when I have a fellow Hokie with me here. So I didn't mean to cut you off. Tell me more.
No, it's great. I'm always happy to meet more Hokies. So my PhD was focused on facility management, and I especially focused on maintenance work orders for my dissertation.
Maintenance work orders. So we're here in the world of operations and facility management. I didn't even realize. So there are degrees now available in this area. And then you have this building technology angle as well. Tell me about that.
Yes, before we get into that, the program is not specifically facility management, but PhD, you focus on whatever area that you're interested in. So I picked facility management as I was interested in, and I had a great advisor to walk me through this process.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
And the connection to IFMA goes even deeper. You were awarded scholarships from the IFMA Foundation? Is that true?
2021 and 2022.
Congratulations. That was based on the work you were doing, and you had to apply and share with them your ideas for this doctorate. And they said, yeah, we want to support this.
Yeah, they have an application process which you describe what you're doing for facility management, which was interesting. And they have a very nice, cool competition for the scholarship winners when you attend the conference. And that was a great experience too.
And you're a winner of that competition.
2021, yes.
We all are winners in the world of FM, but Mahnaz actually won something and was awarded with a scholarship, which is fantastic. This is it. This is the reality of what I hear people talk about, the need to support up-and-coming facility management professionals and pour into their education and make it a career of choice. Is that what happened?
Yes. My background is in architecture. My bachelor's and master's are in architecture. But for my PhD, I decided to switch, and I'm very happy about my decision. It's a very interesting world. It has challenges every day, and that's what I like about it. That makes me learn more and more every day.
And now today, you are a building technology consultant here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., with a company that I'm familiar with called Procon Consulting. I've known many folks that have worked for Procon. What is it you're doing today?
Yes, so as you mentioned, I work as a building technology consultant at Procon. I've been involved with different projects, but some of them that interest me more is the implementation of 360 imaging for construction and facility management. And I'm also learning to fly drones and get my license, so we would be able to use those for other projects. Technology consultant, I'm always interested and impressed by new technologies.
A future drone pilot, folks. I've got I'm going to go into some Star Wars nerd type analogy here, but you're going to be flying like Anakin Skywalker or Luke Skywalker, or am I losing you on the Star Wars references? You're in? You're a fan?
That's great. I mean, I'm generally not a big fan of that type of movies, but I always get all these comments when it comes to technology, different technologies.
Yeah, exactly. Well, sci-fi movies and reality come together here on the Asset Champion podcast. So thanks for humoring me with that. So Mahnaz, the other thing I like to do for my audience is provide a little inspiration. Do you have a favorite motivational quote you could share with us?
I'm not like big fan of motivational quote, but there's one that I like. It might be a cliche, but it's never late to pursue your dreams.
I love it. Is that like a Walt Disney quote or something?
I honestly don't even remember, but it's just like it has always been on my mind, just moving to the other side of the world, pursuing my dream, changing direction, but I try not to give up.
I love it. That's fantastic. And that's a great piece of advice. Not cliche at all. I think we all need to be reminded that wherever we are, it's okay to pivot and reevaluate what we're doing, upskill. It's certainly required in the world today, especially with advancing technologies and AI coming on the scene. And we're going to talk about all that. But before we do, tell me your take, your perspective on the world of facility management. And what are you most focused on today?
I'm focused on two areas: technology implementation for facility management and also data analytics. Decision making based on data. I think it's a big thing going on in all industries, and I think construction and facility management need to catch up.
Absolutely. So leveraging technology to save costs, but also to allow building owners, operators to be more efficient and productive, and therefore provide the business outcomes we're all looking for. That's what it's all about. So what type of technology tools are you most excited about that could have an impact on the built environment?
I mean, there are just so many that you can use. I was fortunate at Virginia Tech being involved to test a couple of technologies. I was involved with a study on using HoloLens for facility management and exploring data in the field.
Yeah. AR, VR.
Yeah, VR is more, I feel like VR is more like an in-office thing, but AR, since you can see your surrounding environment, I feel more applications can be for that. And also robots. I mean, you see more and more around, at least in other fields, other industries. So I'm looking forward to see how much more construction and facility management are going to be open and using them.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned in your introduction that you were doing work with visualization of buildings. Like, is that related to the Autodesk tools like digital twins and that type of thing? Tell me more.
Yes. I mean, when we're talking about data, we obviously at the end, we get to the digital twin. We want to have a platform to integrate data from multiple sources so that you can actually make an informed decision. If you're switching back between different platforms, that's not an efficient way to do it. So digital twin is data. It's also getting the model. So using something like a 360 camera to capture the space, have the as-built, have the point clouds, helps you to prepare your digital twin. But again, we should always remember digital twin needs to stay updated. And how that happens, sensors, live data, updated information. We see that a lot. That's a challenge with facility management, right? Someone goes into the field, this is not connected. They change something, they update something, but until the time it goes into the system or someone goes back and update it, there are many decisions made in the middle. So it's just, being active. And then, with the sensors, with the IoT, now doing these kinds of things are much easier than before, more possible.
Yes, definitely more accessible, more cost effective. So when you, as a relatively young person, compared to me, you're a young person, this is a good thing. You've got this whole future ahead of you, an opportunity to implement and use technology the way it's never been used before. What do you see as some of the challenges now that you're working with clients and getting experience in the real world, and you talk to organizations, I imagine, about the possibilities of technology? What are some of the obstacles to actually moving forward with some of these great ideas that you researched?
I mean, even based on my own research of using the maintenance work order data to make decision or implement machine learning, is you first need to have a good quality data so that you can make the right decision. So if you don't collect the right data, then you're not making the right decision. But how do you know what to collect? That's the base part that many are missing or are having challenges of defining their data requirements. You can just collect everything, but that's not practical, and it's not going to be then cost effective. So you need to be able to articulate and define what are the requirements, and then start collecting and, kind of enforcing it. Because some companies do define requirements, but then there is no quality control. Are there actually, when I get this report, are these data in that report, or no? It's just like, we're done, It's also checking it, like making sure that is happening.
Interesting. And Mahnaz, you told me before we started this chat that your PhD was actually related to something my audience is very interested in, which is work orders and the opportunity to automate some of that. So tell me more about the research you were doing while at Virginia Tech. It was around work order management and automation, right?
So I was involved in multiple research at Virginia Tech, but my dissertation was focused on maintenance work orders. So when I started my PhD, I started exploring what are the challenges in facility management, and specifically in the area of maintenance, operation and maintenance. And I found a couple of topics that I was interested in, and I suddenly picked the prioritization of maintenance work orders. I was looking into how this is happening, so I started interviewing facility management experts. I had a survey, and I was looking at what criteria facilities are using to prioritize maintenance work order, how they are ranking those criteria.
Oh, interesting.
What information they're collecting after the maintenance task is performed, and this whole cycle. Because again, if you want to make decisions based on data, you need to have a good quality of data. But other challenges in the middle that I came across was data duplication, because the platforms are not integrated, or this person doing this task is so disconnected from the one doing the next task that they're not collecting the same data. Well, this is a cycle, this data can feed into the next task, next cycle. So that kept me very interested on following up. So I got work order data, about 8 years work order data from a facility. And I started analyzing those data first to identify what are the challenges, what are the criteria that I can use to see how I can automate this. So my goal was to use machine learning to see first how something like machine learning can be applied to prioritization of work order data to support.
Okay, yeah.
And I did that, and the results show that obviously it's automation, it can help, but we won't forget that we always need a human. You want the human to be in the loop. You don't want to put the human outside entirely, because the machine learning is making decisions based on previous data, but there's always a new condition that happens that maybe it never happened before. So you always need the human input. But it was interesting to see that how this AI can help the facility managers to do the tasks they're doing daily faster. So when we're talking about applications of AI, we want to help facilities, but not to remove humans from this whole process, but to help them to do whatever they're doing more efficiently, faster. So this is like a routine task, right? Or work orders comes in and I prioritize them every day. But if there's something that can help me to process this faster, maybe we don't need to shut down a couple of assets, which is going to impact the whole facility.
Right. The impact of downtime is potentially huge when it comes to the cost associated with that loss of time and ability to utilize an asset. Mahnaz, I need to know more about the drone pilot future you have. You're training with the FAA to be certified to fly drones. In what capacity?
So if you want to use it just, for fun as a hobby, you don't need the license, obviously. But if you're actually using it on a project, if you're paid for using it, you have to have an FAA license because obviously, you need to know the rules. You need to know where you can fly, where you cannot fly. It's a very interesting area. I mean, drone is another new technology. We see its application in many different industries. So, I mean, why not? Why not in construction facility management? The applications are, different things, One
condition
good thing,
maybe?
yes, I was going to say one big thing about facility management is condition assessment of the roofs.
Yep.
And there was always this conversation, yes, sometimes you just go up the stairs, elevator, you get to the roof, but maybe that's not easier. Or if it's a bridge, it's not easy to just, walk by and, do your condition assessment. So drone is faster. And also we're talking about the safety of the workers too. Some places, if you can send a robot, if you can send a drone, why would you jeopardize someone's safety?
Absolutely. As someone who has a fear of heights, someone with a fear of heights, I'm all on board to avoid having to get on roofs or even cross bridges. Well, the time is escaping us. It always goes by way too fast. Can you share some practical advice with my audience about what we should focus on, what our priorities should be? What ideas do you want to leave with us as we head into the future of the built environment together?
As I mentioned, I'm very interested in the application of data analytics for facility management. We collect so many data from so many different things every day. But it was an interesting keynote speaker in the Orlando conference about data centers and sustainability. Since then, I'm always thinking about how much water is being used or what's the impact of all these data centers on the environment too. So,
especially in our area here, there are data center farms.
Yeah, exactly.
Everywhere.
So I think I'm interested to see where this goes. We want to use this data because obviously we're going to be more efficient, and sometimes that can also support the sustainability, obviously, how you analyze the buildings, for example, the carbon emissions and all of that. But it's also, we want to consider all these applications. I know people were randomly, using ChatGPT, asking cool questions. But then I read also research on, each question you're asking is this much processing, and that takes this much energy. So be mindful of that.
Oh boy, now you got me worried. I gotta be careful. The silly questions I've been asking ChatGPT, I might be adding to the problem. Okay, I don't want to do that. So good reminder. That whole idea of tying what we're doing to the bigger, more holistic issues facing our world, sustainability, and we have the opportunity to have a positive impact. And I am very excited to know that there are people like you coming up in the industry to lead the way. So the future is bright, folks. I'm thrilled to have had the chance to learn a little bit more about you, Mahnaz, and I want to thank you for taking time to join me here on the Asset Champion podcast.
Thank you for having me, Mike. It was a great pleasure.
And there you have it, everybody. Dr. Mahnaz Ensafi from my alma mater, Virginia Tech, joining us to share just a few of her insights and ideas related to the future of the built environment. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. If so, please share this podcast with a colleague or a friend, anyone who might like to join us as we continue on our journey to encourage and inspire you to be an asset champion. Peace out. You've been listening to the Asset Champion podcast, powered by Aptura, the epicenter of the future of work. For more about how we help organizations to engineer a thriving environment by enhancing their employee experience, workspaces, and asset value, please visit aptura.com.